6月，倫敦皇家學會諾貝爾獎官方辦了一場對談 ，AI 會怎麼改變科學？台上2位諾貝爾得主做出 AlphaFold 的 Demis Hassabis 和皇家學會主席發現細胞周期開關的 Paul Nurse。Hassabis 先解釋，他為什麼說科學進入了數位速度。
We spent about a year folding all 200 million proteins, sort of known to science. It was also able to fold an average protein in a few seconds, right? So it was very fast. But with AlphaFold, once we folded these structures, we were able to obviously work in collaboration with the European Bioinformatics Institute, part of EMBL, amazing collaboration we did, and just put it on a database very quickly in a couple of months. And then it's as simple as a keyword search. And there it is. And now over 3 million researchers around the world have used AlphaFold and the structures from 190 countries. I was coining this phrase last week at the big Google annual event of we're in the foothills of the singularity, which caused a bit of a stir, but I really mean that the sort of, I can feel it. If we look back in 10 years, I think we'll start feeling this period now, around now, next year, and when we look back. And I think it's going to be monumental, that change.
說完起點，主持人岔開話題。台上這2位的交情，30年前差點走成另一條路。
Exactly, but I think we first spoke when you were probably just still an undergraduate at Cambridge or just after. I think we talked about a PhD, but you wanted to set up a gaming company.
Yeah, which you disapproved of, I think.
Well,
I remember correctly, Paul.
I thought I can't.
Had a longer plan. Yes.
I thought I can't handle that. I can't handle that. But it was clear Demis was very interesting at the time.
You can spot him, but not.
Nurse 接着談年輕科學家的焦慮 ，AI 來了，實驗室還需要人嗎？他的回答從一句大實話開始。
Well, the first thing to realize is doing research in a wet lab is enormously boring. I mean, it really is boring. We spend most of our time transferring little volumes of liquid from one tube to another. And there is no way to excite anybody, let alone their intellect, okay? So we could work on how we can get robots to do much of that. And
I always think asking the right question is much harder than solve. It's like, what is actually the right question? How can you state it in a really concrete way? The controls around it, all of that is the current AI systems have no way of doing that today.
最嗆的一段在後面，主持人問到，論文越發越多 ，Nurse 直接點名一本期刊。
I think the technology has got dangerously seductive in some ways. If I look at some of our high-profile journals now, they will invent some way of looking at a problem and accumulate a lot of data. And it's clever, it's expensive, so only a few people can actually do it. But it doesn't actually come to very firm conclusions about anything of interest. There's a journal called Cell, which used to be a great journal. I can't bear to read it anymore because it's just full of this stuff. And they just have no conclusion because they are not thinking about what it all means.
They went from not hearing about AI to what is that to like, oh, we need something on AI. And then they're like looking around and they're running an insurance company or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, we just got to apply AI to something. And I often say to them, look, when I looked into the problem, it's like, no, you just need to use stats for that. It's fine. Yeah. You don't need AI to do whatever it was you're doing.
那 AI 到底該拿來做什麼 ？Hassabis 說，他在 Google 的另一個夢想是讓人更少用科技。
One of my dreams is that when those become really capable assistants, which we're maybe a couple of years away from, I would love it that we can then use technology less, not more, less. Because I think today we're just bombarded by these unintelligent systems that are trying to hack our attention, whether it's social media or whatever. But if you had an AI system that you could effectively worked on your behalf, you could sort of delegate it to that and just say, look, I'm going to do some deep thinking now between 10 and 6 p.m. And don't interrupt me. Summarize what's happening in the world, these things I'm interested in at the end of the day.
談到風險，他把話講得很直。護欄這件事，還沒有人知道怎麼做。
But it's an unsolved problem. It's called the alignment problem, and it's for sure not solved. And anyone thinks it's like simple as like where's the off switch? You just do some reading around it. There isn't this. It's going to get around that. If this is what Asimov wrote and warned about with all his robot stories.
至于 AI 會不會有意識，他的答案是先別急。
And so my recommendation, if I could wave a magic wand, is let's cross one Rubicon first, which is the AGI and these really smart and precision, super capable tools, and then use that, give ourselves time as a society, and use those tools as well to maybe better pose this question of what is consciousness, do some neuroscience with it. I think given 10 years with those kind of tools, we would be able to. And then maybe that would be the next question for societies. Do we want to cross the second Rubicon of actually trying to create, conscious entities? And in my view, I don't think we want to, those are big enough challenges in themselves. Do we really want to conflate that and cross both of them at the same time?
最后，主持人用李世石退休时那句“这已经不是同一个游戏了”问他们：有了 AI， 科学还是同一个游戏吗？
Having said that, chess is more popular than ever now, to watch, and people don't care about watching chess computers play each other, just like we don't care about, we still care about the 100 meters sprint and Usain Bolt, even though we have cars and things that can go faster than a human can, but we don't care about that. We want to see what our fellow human beings can do. I mean, I am for sure, very sure about in the next 10 years, we are going to be entering what I feel like is a new renaissance. It will be a new golden age of scientific discovery. And hopefully when we look back, AlphaFold will just be one example of the things that we were able to crack with the help of AI.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, all of you. It's been an enormous...